welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for a big Barça transfer news roundup. We are going to have all of the latest news on Raphinha, of course, what is happening in that potential deal. We're also going to be talking about the big meeting that took place there between Man Utd and Barça over Frenkie de Jong, and the big news indeed surrounds Robert Lewandowski, because of Barça taking a big step forward and agreed a deal to sign the Polish striker. It is all coming up today, as well as a look ahead to our very first preseason game of the summer. There's not a moment to lose, so let's get to it. And I do just want to say, guys, apologies here for the sort of late or early video, depending on where you are in the world, because for me right now, I've had to completely change my recording schedule, my uploading schedule, to sort of factor in all of this transfer news, because I can't actually start preparing anything. Usually now, it's midnight. It is midnight here, because in this transfer window, everything changes minute by minute throughout the day. There's always contrasting things, so many different reports swirling around, so I've waited here until the end of the day. Let's break everything down and go through it right now. Because indeed, guys, on Raphinha to Barça, what is the latest right now on that situation? Well, what we do know is this deal appears to be all agreed between Barça and Leeds there. An agreement does seem to be in place, and everything points to Raphinha becoming a new Barcelona player this summer. Multiple sources, everybody agrees on that. But there is disagreement when it comes to the transfer fee, and this is the part of the deal that, for me, it is a big talking point, because on the side of Gerard Romero, he has remained firm, he has remained absolutely adamant throughout this Raphinha saga that he will sign for €50 million plus 10 in variables, and that will be paid over 3 separate instalments. Gerard Romero has always remained firm on that. But everyone else, and the majority of sources elsewhere, they say this is a deal that will happen for around €70 million there. Fabrizio Romano himself, he says 72 million total deal, and that, I think we'll all agree, that would be huge money. Big money there for Raphinha. And I think at this point what we have to do, we have to sit tight, we have to kind of not panic, and we just have to wait and see what the club has agreed, what kind of deal has been done, because of course there's lots to consider. There's the fixed fee, the guaranteed fee, how many variables are they going to be, and the variables that are they easy to obtain for Leeds? Are they difficult to obtain? And of course, crucially, the payment terms. Have we agreed that deal there to be paid over several years? That, of course, is going to be the key, because I think we all want this deal to be done, and we're all hoping that it will be, but at the same time, I think we're all quietly believing and hoping that we haven't overpaid here. We know we're in a bidding war, we know this is a top quality player, but of course we do want to get this done on the best possible terms. Which brings us nicely on to Frenkie de Jong, because he actually returned there to Barcelona on Monday for medical tests. The routine there, medical checks that are done when the players come back after the summer away. These are all the international players now coming back in to join the rest of the group. And I gotta say, it was nice, I feel, to see Frenkie de Jong back in Barca colours. There's so much going on surrounding him right now. We still don't know how long he's going to be in Barca colours, but it was still nice to see nonetheless, because today, huge news in Barcelona is that Richard Arnold, the CEO of Man Utd, and also John Murto, they were both in Barcelona on Monday, and they met directly with the board at Barcelona. Talks were held there solely about Frenkie de Jong, about his future, about what the negotiations are in this particular deal, and on Man United's side, they once again made it clear they really want de Jong. They, I would say, are desperate now to sign Frenkie de Jong. On their side, this deal has dragged on way longer than they expected and they were hoping for. They need to wrap up this deal and really kickstart the new Erik ten Hag era at their club. And this is one thing that I would say, and I would have to stress right now when it comes to Barca, because it appears that we're very much open to selling, and we sort of made no secret of that throughout the summer, that we will sell de Jong at the right price. And I would just say on that right now, guys, thinking as well about this Raphinha deal, we cannot now, there are no excuses to sell Frenkie de Jong on the cheap. Because if you are really going to go out and spend huge money, like it looks like we are on Raphinha, we're involved in a bidding war, we're up against Premier League teams, we know that's not an easy thing to do, but we've agreed a deal there for big money. There's no excuse now for us to go and sell de Jong for less than he's worth. There is no excuse at all for that. You've got United interested, they're desperate for him. You've got Chelsea reportedly interested too. Get a good fee. If you really are going to have to sell him like you want to, you've got to get a good fee now. And I know there's wages involved. I know that obviously de Jong is on big salary that we want to remove. That doesn't work in our favour, but we cannot sell him on the cheap now. And the latest reports on that transfer fee right now, coming out this evening on Monday, UE Olot, a very reliable source there in the Catalan media, he says that Barça and Manchester United have now reached an agreement for an 85 million total deal. Now that would be a deal there that is including variables. So that's the total package, 85 million. There is no word right now on what the fixed fee would be, how much of that fee would be guaranteed. That's going to be a real deal breaker in my opinion. But what I would say on this, guys, we're hearing all the time about deal agreed, Man United and Barca meeting, discussing all of this stuff. For me, it's still irrelevant because I still look at Frenkie de Jong. The guy doesn't want to go. He is still not convinced about Man United. He has never, like we said yesterday, for 1 second said, okay, I want to go there. I am committed to United. I'm committed to that project. He's never seemed to be open to that. And I think Barca still have work to do. United still have work to do to convince de Jong to make this move. There's reports there that he could meet with Xavi to discuss what his role would be in the team in the coming season. There's also talks as well of a meeting with the club to discuss his current contract and his salary. And there's lots of work still to do. There may be agreements, there may be the two clubs meeting, but in terms of Frenkie de Jong and that personal preference from him, and in the end, it all comes down to that. Frenkie holds the final decision, and I think both clubs, they're going to be waiting to see what's going to happen. But when it comes to Robert Lewandowski, we may be on the verge of an agreement here. We may be on the verge of getting everything wrapped up and all completed on the Lewandowski front. Because yes, on Monday he did return there to Munich in Germany, of course, ready to return to training with Bayern on Tuesday. But the significant part about this is he's gone to Germany. He's returned there ready for that Bayern training, but he's gone there all on his own. His family have remained back in Spain. They are waiting, I assume, there for news on his future, because on Monday evening, widely reported there in the Catalan media that Barca, they've sent that final offer. And it is a final offer from Barca, which will reach 50 million euros fixed and guaranteed fee to Bayern Munich. And of course, that's the fee, guys, that all the way through the window, Bayern have been saying, we want 50 million. And we don't want it in variables. We don't want it paid now, a bit later. We want it all right here, right now. 50 million fixed. And it appears like that's what they'll get. And indeed, as a result of that offer, there is huge confidence and huge optimism throughout the media right now. Many people are saying that Lewandowski, in that training on Tuesday, he's basically saying goodbye. He is going to say goodbye there to his teammates, to all of the staff at Bayern. And this move could indeed be confirmed, wrapped up this week, guys. We could get this deal done by the end of the week and maybe in time for that USA tour. Because Bill, the German media source there, they say that right now at Bayern, they don't consider Lewandowski their player anymore. They see him as outside the club, that he's going to go. Everybody is aware of that. And it may finally seem the case that now Lewandowski could be on his way. But of course, guys, along with all of that transfer news, one thing that we can't forget about, and we really shouldn't, guys, it's the football. At the end of the day, this is what it's all for, and preparation is well underway there with Xavi's Barça. They will play their very first preseason game of the summer on Wednesday evening, and they will be taking on there the lower division Catalan side, UE Olot, and that game there is going to be taking place at Estadi Municipal at 7 p.m. local time on Wednesday. And if if you do want to catch the game, guys, and I would, because it seems as though this is going to be really intriguing from the off, you can watch it there on Barça TV Plus. It's live and free on the Barça streaming platforms. That's really, really good there. We're going to be using our away kit for the first time of the season, the gold strip there. Really looking forward to seeing that in the flesh on the players. And I think there's lots to look forward to. You know, we've already spoken already about the fact that Ansu Fati, he may start this game there. That would be his very first start in 8 months of action. Huge moment that would be for him, and real confidence that would give him, and I think us fans as well. There's also been talk, of course, about Nico in that defensive midfield position. Xavi, very keen on keeping him at the club, doesn't want him to go out on loan. He wants him to be here in the team and potentially a substitute for Sergio Busquets. And of course as well, there's going to be plenty of youngsters involved, looking to take their chance, looking to grab their opportunity here with Xavi in the first team, and we may just get our first look at the youngster, our brand new signing, Pablo Torre. And that should be a real treat indeed. And of course, guys, there is going to be lots more on the way in terms of all the transfer news and indeed full reaction to everything we're going to see in that pre-season opener. Thank you, though, here, guys, for joining me at the later or earlier time in the day. Thank you very much for that, and I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless. Let's wait and see what happens with all of these deals and plenty more still that are going to come. I will be seeing you then. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça!